Thank you all so much for joining me today. I have not covered this season at all because I didn't even know it was on. I didn't even know it was on. And like this weekend, last weekend, I was just looking for just stuff to watch while I rotted on my couch. And I saw this show and I was like, let me just check it out. And I watched a few episodes and then I just left it. And then I saw a trailer for the tell-all in the 90 Day Fiance show that I was watching, the other 90 Day, this current 90 Day Fiance. I saw the trailer and I saw that Jasmine was pregnant and I was like, how did we get there? So then I went back and I binged the entire thing and I was like, oh, we have got to talk about this. So that is how this all came to be. But you know, we chat a bit before we get into it. So how are you guys? Hey, Denard. Denard said, I didn't watch the season, but I've heard a lot and excited for this review. Thank you for being here. Hey, DGF. Thank you for being here. Hey, Busola. Hey, Spenty. Spenty said, hi, Nikki and Star fam. This tell-all had me shook. Rob is such a loser all the way. Denard said, I always clock Rob as a loser and definitely someone that would do anything for money. Ciao. ACM. Al Boogie said, just in time. What is this? Oh, ciao. Al Boogie said, just in time. I'm silently screaming, she's not a Christian. Yesterday's live was so much fun. If you have not watched it, please go check out yesterday's live. We had a ball. I think it was the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills live. Hey, baby. Shamiko said, good afternoon. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Nikki was just rewatching your review on Real Housewives of Atlanta. LOL, saw the notification and ran here for the laughs. I don't watch any of these shows. Love from St. Kitts. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, D. Nicole. Hey, Petty Boop. Spitzy said, Jasmine had me gagged. LMAO, and Rob's mask fell off completely. Oh, he was crazy. And then there's one more part of the tell-all. I had no idea. Hey, Marion. Marion said, hey, Nikki, I haven't watched this season either, but I did hear a lot of mess about the tell-all. The tell-all was messy. The Internet H said, hey, Star Fam and Nikki, this is a good distraction while I'm at work. Well, great. I am glad that I can distract you from work. Anyway, guys, let's get
into it. Let me get my notes for this show. Not this 90 Day Fiance, the other one. Here we go. 90 Day Fiance Last Resort. So in this entire season, I feel like 90 Day Fiance Last Resort. Oh, guys, why does it have what? So I do not go to Sprouts for soda. Like, just don't do it. So I went to Sprouts and I was looking for ginger ale. I don't know why I did that. I should have just went to Ralph's. Anyway, I went to Sprouts and I asked the guy, I was like, do you guys have ginger ale? And he was like, oh, yeah, we do. He was like, he gave it to me. He's like, this is Olipop. It's Olipop's ginger ale. It's a good digestive health ginger ale. And I've had these pops before, these drinks before, but he was just like, this one tastes exactly like ginger ale. It's the best ginger ale alternative. Now, alternative threw me off. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take your word. He just kept on saying it's really, really good. But why is it a polar bear and Christmas light? Is this old? Is this old? Why is a polar bear and Christmas lights on here? Anyway, I'm gonna give it a shot. We're gonna try it, y'all. Y'all know I have not been having it hasn't been good for these Olipops. We've tried so many. We're going to try one more. Let's see. Jerusalem. Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. I will say, initially, it gives you ginger ale if she was on Ozempic, but then there's an aftertaste that I just don't like. So I'm like, what are they using? What is the aftertaste? Because I mean, everything, is it cassava root? It's something in here that is not right. I mean, the ingredients are great. What was Ollie Smart? Ola Smart? What's Ollie Smart? Is that like a sugar alternative? Because it's given ginger ale with Splenda. Oh, that's the laxative part. My God, today, child. Child. Mm-mm. Back to the drawing board. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's first just go over the couples that are on 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort. I will say this, 90 Day Last Resort showed me two things. One, if you go on 90 Day Fiance Last Resort, you're going on that show to break up. You are not going on that show to work on your relationship. You are going on that show to break up. And if you don't break up on the show, you're going to break up eventually. That show is where relationships go to die. I could not believe at the end. I was like, oh my God, is nobody staying together? What is going on? So it's absolutely a place that relationships go to die. We had Ari and Binion on here. My God, today. What happened here? I still don't know what happened. Ari was saying that Benny was cheating, and Benny was like, no, I didn't cheat. He talks small and fast, so he's never admitting anything. But she's saying that he cheated on her, and he just like, and Benny's just like, I just want my passwords. I just want my passwords. Just give me my passwords. No. Passwords. So these two are just never connecting at all on this show, and they end up deciding to divorce. Before they even get to the end of the show, they are just like, no, it's not going to work between us. Benny didn't try. Like, he was not trying to make it work with Ari. And that gagged me because I was just like, you worked really hard to make this relationship be a thing. And you looked as if you were the one chasing her. And Benny, I hate to say it, but it's like, as soon as you perform with Kendrick, you just acted like you ain't need this woman no more. I don't know. I feel like as soon as you got a little America on you, you said the jig is up. Because he was not trying at all to make this relationship work. Ari was really trying. He did not care. She would cry. She would say that he didn't love her. And she just was like, and he was like, okay, well, that's all she thinks. Like, he just did not care. He did not care and he did not try. He literally came on this show with a check. He had a better connection with other people's wives than he had with his own. I was so gagged with how little he tried to make this relationship work. It's just like he did not even want to be around her. And he also like did not care. Like if she would like cry or anything, like any emotion, he was over it. He didn't want to sleep in the same bed with her. He had like a separate room. Like I feel like this divorce happened because he wanted it. Because as soon as she was just like, my husband doesn't want to sleep in the same bed with me. And, I'm just kind of here by myself. And she's right. I felt so bad for her. I've never seen this side of any. He did not want to work out anything with her. Like, he didn't want to try. He was out, over it, and done. Never seen that dude like that. And he had the best time with everybody else. He never wanted to talk to her. He never wanted to connect with her. And I absolutely felt bad for Ari. I could not believe it, child. He got that little Super Bowl performance and he said, I don't need you, girl. I didn't made it. Absolutely toxic. Absolutely toxic. And you know what? I want to say justice for everybody that was telling me that Natalie was a little off. I binge watched this show and I was like, oh, so this is what the Star family was talking about. She is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and she has a serious attitude problem. And Josh took a lot of beatings from this woman. Like, she was always lashing out at him for no reason if we're keeping it buck. And Natalie is absolutely male-centered. She is not a girl's girl at all. Stacey and Florian, why are y'all playing? I just feel like they just need to let it go. They just need to let it go. Florian, I don't see these. I don't know how they've made it this far. I have to be honest with you. Florian also, speaking of attitude problem, he has a terrible attitude. He has a very bad attitude and he has flown off the handle with so many people. And he's like 98 pounds soaking wet with change in his pocket. I can't believe the people were letting him cuss them out. He's not tall. He's not intimidating. He's weird. Rob and Sophie, speaking of attitude problems, Rob has a terrible attitude. And he tormented Sophie on this show. He treated her so poorly. She had a panic attack in a public restroom. Now, I will say this. She was raised by a white woman. So, when she was in that bathroom, that public restroom, sitting on the floor by the toilet, calling her mother and crying and just wrestling around on that ground, I was just like, you know what? She is partly Caucasian. So that is like probably not a big deal, but it was a little weird. It was a little weird, but she had a whole panic attack. Just like it was just our body responding to how poorly this man treats her. Not a good guy. I'm just like, do these men not know what a husband is anymore? What the role of a husband is? A covering, a protector, a provider. None of these men wanted to do any of that, but they wanted these women to break. This show also proved that the women on this show are far too good for these men. Far too good for these men. Jasmine and Gino. Jasmine was trying, and I was absolutely gagged. I thought that Gino was going to be the one to try to save this marriage and make it work. I'm telling you, by the end of this season, I was just like, Jasmine, leave him. I was encouraging her to leave him because Gino, like Benny, was not trying to work on anything. He did not want to make anything work. She is like trying to force her husband to have sex with her. And he's like, I'm not having sex with you until I have an emotional connection. And I don't know when that will ever be. I said, you're withholding sex? Absolutely gag. And Jasmine was crying like every episode, like, my husband doesn't want me. He doesn't want me. Jasmine over Gino. My, how the tables have turned. I couldn't believe it. Gino was not trying. Gino was not trying. I'm telling you guys, I'm actually gagged at myself that I'm siding with Jasmine, and I'm siding with her throughout the entire tell all. This woman was trying to make this relationship work. He gave her nothing. He gave her nothing. Brandon and Julia, I didn't know that Brandon could get worse for me, right? Because I remember when I was watching this season, I was always just like, you are dating up, buddy. Be grateful, right? Brandon he actually got worse for me. He even gets worse for me at the tell all because halfway through the tell all, Julia reveals, after being berated by Brandon in therapy, she reveals that she can't have kids. And she's going to get a second opinion and they're going to try some different things. But she had went to a doctor and they had let her know that, what she's dealing with and, the issues that she's having. It's going to be difficult, probably impossible for her to conceive. And that really pissed me off. Not because she cannot conceive, but because Brandon's whole storyline this season was that he wanted children. Why in the hell was that your storyline and you knew your wife's health issues? You knew what she was dealing with. This lady broke down and was just like, I can't have kids and I feel really bad. I feel like I'm not good enough for him because I know that's what he wants and I feel bad that I can't give that to him. And he was like, we can get a second opinion. And I'm like, you're not listening to her. You're not listening to her. This is causing her so much pain. And the fact that he knew that and made his entire storyline pushing this woman to have children, even after that, he was just like, she's not trying to be a mother. She doesn't act like a woman that wants to have children. I'm just like, you know what she's dealing with. Why do you keep on pushing that on her and reminding her of something she probably can't do? That was just so mean and nasty. Julia, you could do better on your worst day. Oh, speaking of worse. Terrible. Like these relationships. Now let's get into the tell all. So as of right now, Rob and Sophie broke up. The relationships that didn't make it. Ari and Benny, they left the resort early because Benny just didn't want to work on anything, and Ari was just done trying. Natalie and Josh left early because he was just like, "There's nothing more for me and Natalie to do. We're just not compatible. I'm gonna leave." Natalie stayed and was like a guest at the recommitment ceremony for everybody else. Stacey and Florian recommitted to each other. I don't know why. This is such a weird relationship to me. Rob and Sophie broke up. Rob wanted to recommit. Sophie was just like, no. She wrote a note to her younger self, and she said, "Rob is not your dream guy. He is not the one for you." And I'm like, good. I'm glad you finally figured that out. Jasmine and Gino recommitted to each other. They recommitted to each other with stipulations. And the stipulations is Jasmine wanted an open marriage if Gino did not want to have sex with her anymore. And Gino said he will allow her to have an outside sexual partner until he gets to the point where he feels comfortable enough to sleep with her. I honestly don't think he needs an emotional connection. I think something's going on with little Gino. And he don't want to say nothing. I think something going on with that. And he don't want to say anything. But they agreed to an open marriage until Gino feels like he has the desire and the emotional connection where he wants to sleep with Jasmine. Now it was a tough time for them to get there because Jasmine introduced a guy that she met at the gym that she said that offered to, he offered her peen. And he was just like, listen, if your husband's not giving it to you now, Jasmine, I don't know how y'all got to that conversation. It is a little weird. It is a little weird, sis. I gotta say that. But he said, listen, I'll service you if your husband won't. She presents this to Gino. Gino is rightfully disturbed. And he was like, listen, I'll agree to an open marriage if you just keep that relationship sexual and nothing else. Well, She didn't keep it just that. Brandon and Julia are still together. Let's move on to the tell-all. So we get to the tell-all. We find out that Sophie and Rob eventually got back together after the show. Sophie felt bad for not recommitting with Rob. She reached out to them. They rekindled. They went to Disneyland. Sophie was just like, well, I started to feel, some things, and we had sex, and we had sex multiple times, and it was really, really good. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Not with no Rob. Girls, you don't gotta lie. But they eventually just realized that they're not working. Well, Sophie realized, because Sean was just like, so, okay, you guys are keep on getting back together. Where are you guys at now? And Sophie was just like, well, we haven't talked for months. And Sean was just like, okay, so what's going on? Where are you at now? And Sophie was just like, I think it's best that we just don't talk anymore, because she needed a clean break, because she knows that Rob is not a healthy partner for her or any person. And she was just like, I need a clean break. So I need to cut off communication with him completely. You can tell that that's not what Rob wanted. He still wants to get back with Sophie, but Sophie's doing the right thing, protecting her peace. And her resolution was, let's just stop communicating altogether so that I can move forward from this relationship. So as of now, they are still broken up. Thank the Lord. Natalie and Josh, I don't know where they're at yet. We'll find out at the probably end of the tell-all. But so far, Josh was really excited about how much sex they had. Really gross, Josh. I will say that. It was weird. Like, I think it was also really gross how this tell-all was set up, because it was the women seated together and the men seated together. And the men were like just really bro-ish and just inappropriate and weird, high-fiving each other when the women were just like, the sex with them was really good. And then Josh set up and he was like, me and Natalie, we're having sex. Yeah, we've had sex multiple times and it was good. You're a father. What are we doing? What are we doing? So I don't know where this couple stands just yet, because it was probably all up in the air and we didn't get to them. So I don't know where they are, but it was just really, really weird about that he introed when they was asking about their relationship. He introed, well, Natalie and I are having sex a lot. That's not what was asked. So why would you even volunteer that information to us? It was weird, especially for a father. Anyway, so as everybody's catching up, Jasmine walks out with this huge belly. Everybody goes, oh my gosh. And she's like, hi guys. Hi y'all. And she sits down and Sean, it's just like, oh, are you and Gino? Are you and Jasmine still together? And he's like, no. And Jasmine is, no, we're not together. Mm-mm. Mm. And then Sean says, okay, so is Jasmine pregnant with your child? And Gino goes, no. Then everybody who was gagged before went, what? Like, because they all thought that she was pregnant with his baby. When they found out that Jasmine was carrying a baby of that man that she met at the gym, Rob was like, oh, of course, because Rob was the one who told Gino. He was just like, Gino, she likes this guy and she wants to be in a relationship with him. This open marriage thing, it is not about that. She wants to be with this guy. And I hate to say it, but I think Rob was right. Because how do you get pregnant with this man's child? How does that, like, Jasmine? Girl, what? I thought you didn't want children. Any more children. I was so gagging. Jasmine was just like, yes, I'm a mother. Without a care in the world. Without a care. She is such great TV. She is such great TV. She has a whole husband and she is carrying her boyfriend's baby. Who, hold on, wait a minute, Star fam. Wait, child, I forgot to show y'all these. Wait a minute. Hold on. There is more to the story. Like a whole, hold on. What are we doing? Do y'all remember that? Remember when she was just like, she didn't want to have kids and she was upset because she felt like Gino was forcing her to do something that she didn't want to do? You don't want to have kids, but you get pregnant by another man while still married to Gino? Mama, that's weird. Mama, that's weird. I know TLC is so happy that Jasmine auditioned to be on this show, which makes me think the way this relationship is going, and I could be wrong, which makes me think that this is a setup. I feel like Gino and Jasmine are a setup because remember when I was reviewing this couple earlier, like back in the day, I was just like, how did they get together? Like, how I just would not believe that these two actually found each other and like we're in a real relationship. It's honestly giving me they probably talked or met up before when they were like they probably like you know what I mean, they probably talked prior and probably saw each other and then broke up and nothing really came of it. But then this show presented an opportunity for these two to come on this show in a relationship, right? Because just the way this relationship is operated, I'm just like, Gino don't seem like he like her. Jasmine don't really seem like she like him. Something seem off. Something seems off. I don't know. I feel like it could be like a TV relationship with like some truth in it because I do think that they probably were in a relationship back in the day. But I think they not rekindled, but brought this relationship back for the show. What do you guys think? Anyway, so I got these from 90 Day Fiance the Melanated Way. Congrats to Jasmine. She's had her little girl. She's a mother again. And this is Mary Jasmine. This is Mary Jasmine, Gino's wife, doing a photo shoot with her newborn daughter and her boyfriend. Oh my. Oh, this lady is good TV. What do you mean you have a husband and a boyfriend who you just had his baby? Only Jasmine. Only Jasmine. Only Jasmine. My God, today. That is just insane. And Gino was so disgusted. He was so disgusted. But the boyfriend ain't there. I don't know if he's coming, but he was so disgusted just looking at this woman. I think he just felt absolutely played or was acting like he was angered by it. I also don't know, like, here's the thing. Here's why I'm still Team Jasmine. Because, like, this woman is your wife is letting you know that she never agreed to be in a sexless marriage. And that was never a requirement because we watched you guys' relationship and Gino has never mentioned that. And she's just like begging this man throughout the entire show to be with her, to have sex with her, to just want to come together with her physically. And she's constantly telling him, she's like, Gino, I'm not going to be in a sexless marriage. So like, we have to figure something out. But I will say this, Jasmine, I think you already had this figured out. I think you already had this figured out. And Gino just being so adamant about protecting his wee-wee made you have a little bit of a leg to stand on. but I already feel like the wheels was turning before we even got here. Anyway, it's just like this woman, what is she, mid to late 30s? Mid to late 40s? This woman is at her sexual peak. And you're denying her peen? That's not gonna work, brother. That's not going to work. And I will say, from what I saw on the show, that lady tried. That lady tried, and she gave him an ultimatum that she was not going to stay in a sexless marriage. I didn't know she was going to go this far. But she told that man from jump what it was. Let's get into Rob. Rob is an absolutely terrible human being. Gino was not even as mad at Jasmine as Rob was. And I get that you feel like, yes, I was right. You know, I told you, Gino, this would happen. He was just so angry at Jasmine. Like Gino couldn't even speak because he kept on making comments like, of course, I knew she would do this, man. I told you she would do this. I'm like, do you want Jasmine as well? Because I just did not understand why he was so angry. Literally, all he does is fight women. Because the same way that he was speaking to Jasmine on the show was the same way he had spoke to Sophie their entire relationship. He was so nasty to Jasmine. And I'm like, I get it. You're upset because your friend was disrespected. Your friend who you just became friends with was disrespected. But I just absolutely felt like he was doing too much, right? But if there's ever a man with a bigger personality or a bigger attitude in the room, Florian, he'll never give Florian that energy. He don't never give any other man, especially Florian, that energy, but he will absolutely give a woman that envy. I don't know why he has so much heat for Jasmine and Gino doesn't. It's weird. So they, him and Gino, so Rob and like 9 months pregnant Jasmine start having words back and forth because Rob is just so angry at her for being pregnant with somebody else's child. More angry than Gino. He calls her a pregnant whore. She jumps up and wrongfully throws her shoe at him. She misses. But here's the thing. When she got up, Rob got up and started charging after her. And I'm like, yes, Jasmine is in the wrong. But I'm like, what would have happened if security wasn't there? And that concerned me because I'm just like, you. Not only are you jumping up to fight a woman, you're jumping up to fight a pregnant woman. Sophie, what in the hell was going on in that relationship? Because Rob didn't even think about it. It was just like second nature to him. He jumped up and said, "What's up? Let's go." To Jasmine, and had people not gotten in between the both of them, what the hell would have happened? So security literally has to pull him back. The rest of the guests are pulling back Jasmine. Jasmine sitting down, screaming. He's screaming at her. She throws another shoe. He catches the shoe. He takes the shoe out and he tries to break the shoe. His weak behind can't break the shoe. So he opens the door and throws Jasmine's shoe out into oncoming traffic. Wow, cussing her out, calling her all kinds of names. Gino the coward, because Rob is activated and calling her names, he jumps in and starts calling her names. And I'm like, I honestly get Gino being upset and people who are friends with Gino being upset. I do not understand the rage. You can be disappointed, but why the rage? I just did not understand why he was so upset to the point where he would have gotten physical with her. And I'm like, at the end of the day, y'all don't like what she did. This woman is about to give birth. Like, there was no like, oh, stop, she's pregnant. Like, no, there was none of that. It was nothing like, go ahead, Jasmine. You're pregnant. I ain't even gonna say anything. Like, nobody cared about the fact that this lady was carrying the child. It was let me get my points off, let me say what I gotta say, and then let me beat you up. It was so crazy how violent this entire thing got, Jasmine included. It was so crazy. And I was like, I was about to say I've never seen this on 90 Day Fiance. And then I remember that reunion with Angela when she was fighting everybody and showing them scary titties, child. 90 Day Fiance's tell-alls are becoming the ghetto. Guys, it was such a crazy scene. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching this on TLC. What the hell? It got so violent so quick to the point where they had to take a break. They came back and Sean was just like, listen, everybody stay in their chair and let's talk to each other like we have some sense. Because it got real crazy real early. Sophie, what happened in this relationship with this man? He was too quick with no hesitation, ready to beat up on Jasmine. What happened in that relationship? Two grown men, Gino and Rob, having to be held back by security so that they could not physically harm a pregnant woman. Crazy work. Crazy work. So, within this argument, it got extremely heated and activated, I think, because when Rob was throwing shots at Jasmine, Jasmine started throwing shots at him. And she was like, you're mad at me and you're worried about my business. Why don't we worry about the porn you do with the butt plugs? I said, what? The ghetto. This is how ghetto this tell-all was. She was just like, why don't you focus on the porn with the butt plugs? And he was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? She was just like, tell him about the butt plugs. What are we talking about? So at first, Rob is acting like he doesn't know what she's talking about. He's like, porn. I don't do porn. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then he has his own confessional. There's a camera and he's backstage after him and Jasmine have been told to cool down. And he's like, well, I had a friend and, he did some stuff. And, we did some stuff together and the homosexuals liked it. He said, and I went from having no followers to like 10,000 followers who were all homosexual, but I ain't gay. Like, Rob, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, Rob? And then it hit me. I said, oh, so this is why you're so violent towards women. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is why. Brother, I hope you live in your truth. Because the anger that is building up in you and that you release as a grown man is embarrassing. It's embarrassing and it is scary. It is scary. I could not believe he jumped up. He didn't jump up to like get away from Jasmine or to get away from her shoe. He literally jumped up and was going over to her. What was going to happen when he got there? What was going to happen? And I'm telling you, after she started talking about the butt plugs, he got more activated. So he knew that she had probably been doing some research and somebody gave her some tea about him. It makes so much sense, though. Rob, it just makes so much sense. So much sense. I'm not saying that he is, but I will say this. DL men are very violent towards women. Violent towards women, terrible partners, and violence towards their male partner that they're in a secret relationship with, right? Very violent towards that man. A lot of times those relationships end in some kind of harm or unaliving of the partner that refuses to say a secret. So if he isn't, okay. If he is, it will explain a lot of his hatred towards women. But that tell-all got really violent, really dark, really, really fast. They brought it back down, and then we were able to move on to Brandon and Julia. I don't, 90 Day Fiance, it's weird, right? Unless you're going to tell the full story about Brandon and his family, because you keep on bringing Brandon and his family in as if they're interesting. And I only want to see Brandon's parents on the show if we're talking about how he is a man child, and them being so hands on with him is not allowing him to be a good partner, because they start talking to Brandon and Julia about their issues. We find out that Julia was living living single in Russia. She was hopping on anything because her and Brandon had a fight. Brandon left, and she just took it as them breaking up. When Brandon came out to visit her, they had a fight, and she left. He left. She just took it as them breaking up because he wasn't talking to her. So she was just like, I'm single. I'm living the single life. She took it as her being single. And so she was hopping up and down on anything Russian. And Brandon was acting like he was upset about that. But I'm like, Brandon, you knew. Brandon, you knew, right? Like, so all of this acting like, oh, I keep on getting hurt. It's not fair. Like, he was having these man-child tantrums all throughout 90 Day Fiance Last Resort. And he was even having it here at the tell-all. He is a child, and his parents keep him in that childlike state, because here his parents come, and they're agreeing with Brandon of his critiques of Julia. And I'm like, how was that woman supposed to feel? He got all these critiques of her. They're co-signing his critiques, and she's living under the same roof. That's exactly why she wants her family here, because she feels outnumbered. And I think it is extremely selfish of Brandon, who keeps on telling Julia that he doesn't want her family to come here. It's extremely selfish of him to keep her from her own support system. She doesn't want your family to be her world, because your family will always side with you. They're never neutral. Y'all all come together, you're other this woman, and y'all make her feel uncomfortable in a home with you. But I also think that Brandon doesn't want her family to come, because he feels like her family will finally give her the strength to leave, or they will encourage her to leave if they see him mistreating her or taking advantage of her. So he's probably just like, no, I don't want your family here, because I can have more control. And his parents are agreeing, like, yeah, the family shouldn't be here. Yeah, because if she has her own support system, y'all can't treat her like that, because now she got somewhere to flee to. And so that's why y'all don't want her family to come down. That's bad. That's bad. But so we ended the first part of the tell-all with Brandon and Julia getting into it, because Julia is just like, I want my family here. And then Brandon's just like, yeah, well, I want us to create a family. Why do you keep on sticking? Like, I don't understand. I hate that he knows the woman's situation, and he constantly brings up having kids. Why? I feel like he's trying to like break her. I hate it. I hated that segment, because I felt like Julia was just mistreated the entire tell all. Now let's go to part two of the tell all. Why was there a segment? Why was there a segment on Sophie's boobs? So Sophie just got her breast done, and it was like a 7-minute segment on her boobs. It was a segment where she showed Rob her new boobs, and then they all started talking about, like, Sean and all the guests started talking about her boobs. And I was just like, this show just sexualizes this woman. This show sexualizes her, because it was no reason. It was no reason to have an entire segment about her getting her boobs done. It's weird. It was really, really, really weird. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why you felt like at the tell-all we needed some titillation. Very, very weird. Um, I will also say this. I think Sophie needs to stay single for a minute. I also feel like Sophie needs to get some kind of therapy, right? Because Sophie, to me, especially watching her this season, very childlike. There's something very childlike. Like even like when she cries like a toddler. It's like it's really like odd. It's odd for an adult to cry that way. It's odd for an adult to react that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if the voice she's using is not how she really speaks. She just remains in like this like childlike innocent space. And I don't know if it's from trauma. I don't know what it is. But she needs to let that go and get some help so that she can live her life out as a woman, a mature woman. Because it's just very weird that a woman in her 30s would just be so like childlike. And I think that's why Rob liked to be with her, because she was just, there's something happening there with her that it's easy to take advantage of somebody like this. Like she's an adult woman, but it feels as if she's operating as like a 8-year old. It's something very different. It's something going on there, and I think he preys on that and manipulates that. And I think that's one of the issues he has with her mom. He tries to use her mother's drug addiction past to drive a wedge in between them. But I think the mom knows whatever her daughter is dealing with, and she wants to protect her in a certain way. And Rob kind of got into that and was, instead of helping her, manipulating whatever issue she has and using that to keep her in a controlled space. So I guess he was very gagged when she said she wanted to choose herself. And then again at the tell all saying, I need to cut off all communication with him, because he didn't want that. Because I think he thought with the way that they were going that they were going to get back together. Sophie, just don't date. Don't date. Speak to someone, speak to a medical professional and get in a better place. Because I think not only do people take advantage of you, or manipulate you, I think they also sexualize you and use you in a way that makes you feel as if your body is the only thing interesting about you, or the only thing that's good about you. That's how it just felt watching the show. That I could be wrong, but that's just how it felt. And when this show singled in on, we didn't even talk about the panic attack she had. We didn't even talk about how terrible Rob was to her this entire season. Y'all spent time to speak to Sophie, to talk about her boobs. I think that's been her entire life. Ugh, so sad. Sean, why did you even accept that question? I would have told production no. You do have a voice. Um, so then we get to Stacey and Florian. I do not have a picture of what Stacey or her sister look like currently. I will say I was scared. I was scared. They didn't even look human. She looked like a puppet, like a ventriloquist dummy. It looked like somebody was controlling her head. Animatronics. She did not look like herself. I mean, she hasn't looked like herself for a very long time, but this was extremely alarming. I was just like, oh, we got to get some help. We got to, it was like very, very, very scary to watch. Very scary to watch. So anyway, we get to Stacey and Florian, and they are still having issues. I will say they should, the time that they spent on Florian and talking about how he has an attitude problem, I think that was necessary because he absolutely has it. They showed an entire compilation of just Florian this season snapping out at people. And he was like, I don't have an attitude problem. It's just my culture. Where in the hell are you from? What's your culture? Prison? because he's trying to fight everybody. He's just like, I don't have an attitude problem because I go out, I have no problems in Miami. If I had an attitude problem, I would have, been in fights and stuff in Miami. I'm not in fights. I will say, when he gets upset, he goes full Mickey Mouse. Full Mickey Mouse. So they're still not in a good place. Stacey feels like, Florian doesn't want to be with her and that he's probably still cheating on her. And he doesn't really understand her because she's currently going through menopause. So she's having like a lot of emotions. And she's just like, he doesn't understand. I'm not laughing at Darcy. I'm laughing at Florian. Florian's like, I grew up in a house with all women. I had menopause, this, menopause, the menopause, menopause, menopause. I know about it. And they were like, did Florian listen to her? Like, he was just like, I don't need therapy. I came on this show for her. I think we're in a good place. I think the relationship is fine. And everybody's like, it is not. And you need help. And he's like, good. He does not care. Florian, y'all can tell him he got all the issues in the world. He will not hear you. He will not believe you. He will not digest that information because he does not care. He does not care at all. But yeah, this was a little dicey. And then Darcy comes out. Keep them in your prayers. She comes out with her husband, and then her husband alludes to the fact that he thinks that Florian is cheating on Stacey, and we'll find out more about that on the final episode of the Tell All. There was something I wanted to say about. Oh, dear. Oh, it's coming out of my nose. Is seaweed in here? There's something that I wanted to say about Natalie. Oh, I think I said it before. She's very male-centered. Natalie is very male-centered. There were women on this tell-all that were having breakdowns and crying and being really upset about information being out there. Jasmine almost got beat up by Rob. Natalie said nothing. The minute a man starts crying, the minute a man starts feeling emotion, man starts being piled up on, she intervened. No, be nice to him. Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. No, he's nice. Oh, I like him. No, listen to him. He doesn't mean it. She's only defending men. You didn't blink when Jasmine almost got beat. Pregnant Jasmine almost got beat up. But whenever there's a man, there she is to lift him up. Male-centered women, you still will never win. Natalie is male-centered to the core. Can't keep one. All the men that she involves herself with leaves. It doesn't work. Kissing up to them will never work. They will always chase the ones that don't pay them no mind. Anyway, that's all I had to say about this show. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. Woo! Elby said, just in time, I've been silently screaming. She's out weak. I got that one. She's not a Christian. Hey, Dee Man Johnson, thank you so much for being here. El Boogie said, it's my last day alone in the office. I'm going to have to get some act right again. I know that's right. The Dare Show podcast said Olipop is much better than Poppy. Oh, was that the one that I was drinking? Was I drinking Poppy before? Either or, I'm done with these. I can't. Well, no, I don't think it's expired. I hope it's not because I got it this week at Sprouts from the store. Best before February 2nd, 2026. That's not bad, right? That should make sense. Hey, Mama Star, thank you so much for being here. It does, but I don't know why this is on their 2025 cans. Very weird. Very weird. Yeah, but it's up to date, child. It's up to date. El Boogie said Olipop definitely rarely tastes exactly like the thing. Not bad, but just not the thing. You are right. You are right. No, full price for this. Full price. You know it's not good because I still have some. I still have some. Um, Ali, not indeed. Indeed. Oh, the grape is delicious. I think I'm done with trying these. I think I'm done, Dare Show podcast. I think I'm done. The ingredients sound delicious, so I don't know why it just is not working. Yes, happy Friday Eve, Liliana. Thank you for being here. None of them are working. Like you literally go on the last resort to break up. Spency said, I buy Bruce Cost ginger ale. Let me tell you, it's medicine and delicious. Bruce Cost. Bruce Cost? Oh, okay. Is it anywhere near me? Oh, is it? No. Oh, is that Bevmo? Bruce Cost is Bevmo by me. Well, I'm gonna try it. But if it ain't at Bevmo, child, it's only at Amazon, and we don't do that. Okay. Thank you for putting me on. Thank you for. Oh, Florian. He's good TV. He's good TV. Spency, she is, but she was absolutely trying. She was trying. The NNA said, I don't know if anyone from the first or last resort is still together. Maybe one couple. Yeah, I think only one. Spency said Benny performed with Kendrick at the Super Bowl and lost his mind. He said, I don't need her. I don't need her. I'm American now, and I'm performing with Kendrick. Dee Man said, my brain does something when Ari talks, and I can't comprehend anything she says when she finishes talking. You sound like Benny. Marion said, that is so true because every damn one, I think, except for Jovi and Yara. Yeah. Those couple, that's where you go to break up. The NNH said, Benny just wanted his password. That's it. He just wanted his password. It's so sad. Guys, he did not try at all. Josie said Benny was checked out of the gate. Yep. She would be sitting there crying and everybody would be comforting her. And he would be like, hey, I go to the pool. He did not care. I was just like, wow. Marion, I did not think that. Because I'm going off of Benny off of the older seasons. I didn't know what happened. I could not believe that he paid her dust, y'all. He didn't try not once. And there is one scene where Ari's trying to be affectionate to him and she's laying down on him. And everybody's like, oh, look at the husband and the wife. And Benny's like, and she's laying on him. So then, this is so sad. So then the other car with the other castmates, because they were going out, and she's in the car and she's laying on him. And they're in a car with a couple of people from the show, and then another car with the rest of the people from the show. They pull up and they roll down the windows, and the guys are just, being guys, having a good time. But Benny's like playing with them, and Ari's on his lap, so he's playing with them, and she's rocking, and his hands is like he's hitting her, not intentionally, but he's hitting her in the head with his elbows. So she's like, Benny, I'm trying. And he didn't. Since we're here, I am also so gagged that she is hated. I went to her Instagram just to see how she was doing, because like she just looked real tore down on this show. Like just emotion. She was trying it. And Benny just wasn't. And she just was like, she just left the show so defeated. So I just wanted to see how she was doing. And I saw her pictures for like a photo shoot or something that she did. And I just went into the comments because I was going to comment like, you got this, girl, you go. You tried something encouraging. Baby, I got out of them comments with the quickness. The things that people were saying to her, I'm like, what am I missing? She is not liked. She is not only people like, thank God Benny got away. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, absolutely not. Sorry, girl. I'll support you from afar. But I wasn't getting into them comments. I was not getting into them comments. D. Nicole said, Ari had been horrible the entire time. I'm surprised he stuck around. You must have been in her Instagram comments. Hey, Homebody Brit, what's up? Homebody Brit said Benny was flipping and he had everyone in the air but his wife. She's in the bathroom having a standoff while Benny is flipping Julia. He has so much fun with every other wife but his own. He did not care. Hey, Marion. Marion said, from the first time I saw him dancing with his ex and invited Ari and her mama to watch, I was like, no, this ain't it. But it's just like who he is. It's like who he is. He's like, I feel like he is just like a constant performer in his mind. And I'm not saying like he's just not good, but I think he's always thinking about performing, because even when he arrived to the resort, the first thing he did was a backflip. And I'm like, what about hello? How are you doing? Why are you flipping? But that's just his thing. He's like flipping in the pool. He's flipping whenever they're going out to like meet a therapist. I'm just like, oh, you are always performing up here. Is there ever an intermission? The NNA said, I think if Ari had gotten had not gotten pregnant, they would. Yeah. Benny love. I'm sorry. Benny, it's starting to be a pattern. It's starting to be a pattern. You love making white baby mamas. Because I'm like, wasn't he saying that he wanted to do this right because it didn't work out the first time? He is a menace. White woman, run. D. Nicole said maybe she'll take another Eat, Pray, Love trip and find another husband. Oh, she definitely will. She definitely will. They're two peas in the same pod. Two peas in the same pod. But the way she would flip out on that. And Josh would just be like, this is my life. She would cuss him out. She was not playing with him. Yeah, he was there for a good time, not a long time. Like, did you guys see the part where he was like going to like meet his child? And she was not happy about it. And everybody was just like, Natalie, he has a kid. He has to go. But he didn't threaten me. I'm like, girl, you can't. You got to chillax. That's his child. He's not going to choose you over his child. He shouldn't. And I was absolutely glad that he was just like, listen, I had this time playing with my son and I'm going. I actually like that about him. But she was, child. You know, I was always fighting for her because I thought the guy that she was with, I felt like he kind of catfished her, not just in looks, but in his life. You know what I mean? I felt like he told her she was coming to something a little bit more grand, but without the restraints and the manipulation of 90 Day Fiance, and it just being very raw on Last Resort, I was just like, this is what everybody was telling me about. This is concerning. D. Nicole said Natalie has always been out of her mind, crazy, and anger problems don't mix. I feel like Florian knows who to pop off at. He does. He needs to be some kind of actor, to be quite honest with you. He could absolutely be in a video. I can see it. Marion said, I do not know Rob and Sophie now. I'm going to have to go back and watch the relationship. Oh, it's absolutely toxic. From jump. The NNH said, why are the light skinned? Oh God. I don't think it's his physical identity. That's the problem. D. Nicole said, none of these couples should have made it past the 90 day. They shouldn't. Here we go, guys. Let's finish it. The NNH said Rob was terrible the whole time, living in that room with no bathroom. Sophie, the bar's in hell. The bar's in hell. Josie said, I'm not done with the season yet. Between Rob and Sophie, Sophie looks like the brunt of their issues, but I'm hearing Rob doesn't look good. He doesn't. He gaslight that girl the entire time. He just plays with her because he can. Marion said, yeah, she had to go and pee on him in order for him to want her. That's crazy. That's just crazy. It's weird. D. Nicole said, Jasmine was definitely trying. I need to know why Gino refuses to sleep with her because that emotional connection mess was not it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he'd rather say emotional connection than, he's having a problem with little Gino. I think that's what it is, y'all. Josie says Sophie was another one who was only there for a check. She did not take any of this serious. When she started crying, I couldn't take her seriously. You didn't take that panic attack seriously? Oh, I was concerned. And I was like, when is production going to go in there? I was like, is anybody going to go? She's like, ah! Only Jasmine went in. Not production, Jasmine. Hey, Boosie Skinny Majaka, how you doing? Said Brandon can't even pack his own suitcase yet. He wants kids. Kids that he's not going to raise. Can we be honest here? That's all going to be on Julia. Yeah. He definitely wants somebody completely different than who he married because Julia wants to have fun. And y'all got her on that farm with your parents. He don't feel like that. Busola said apparently Jasmine, yes. Yep. She delivered safely. Joseph said, Brandon is a child. Julia will be the only, yep, absolutely. The NNH said Brandon and Julia are such a weird match between his parents and how he acts. I don't get what Julia sees other than trying to get her people over here. That's all it is, because it seems like she had a lot of prospects in Russia, child. Bootsy said, Brandon doesn't like dancing, yet married to a go-go dancer. You can't turn a go-go dancer into a farm wife. And it's criminal to even try. People don't talk enough about the age gap between Rob the Knob and Sophie. Oh, shoot. What is the age gap? What is the age gap? That would make a lot of sense. How old is Sophie? She's in her 20s. Early. Everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. She had a girlfriend, then they didn't work out, and she was dating the guy. She started dating a guy, but they didn't work out because the guy that she was dating was her girlfriend's baby father. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened. NNH said, why do these people keep messing with each other other than for a check? It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. The NNH said, and Josh and Rob are apparently best friends, which is weird. Wait, Josie said, I feel like Josh saw Natalie as his blow up doll. It was weird. Him and Rob being friends makes sense, but it was just very weird how they both were talking about their women. Boosie said, my favorite moment of the season was when Jasmine and Julia answered Natalie at the same time, saying, you're crazy. Ah! They ate. They ate with that one. I had to give him that. He called it. I had to give him that. He called out her plan to the T. I just don't know why he was so angry. But she got her anchor baby. She got her anchor baby. Josie said Jasmine had been cheating on Gino with Matt for some time. She got pregnant so she can have an anchor baby. Yep. Now that Gino is allegedly trying to get her deported. Jasmine, I don't know, with this administration, I don't know if the baby is going to be enough, child. Josie, thank you so much for that. Boosie said, I think the baby will guarantee her place in America so she can bring her kids here without any worries of Gino messing with her status. Listen, one thing about the lady, she stay ahead of the curve. Okay. She's very calculated. Boogie said, Nikki, when a woman likes a man and a man likes a woman who may or may not be married, bees sometimes meet flowers at the park. I'm just like, you started having sex with this man unprotected? You're married? and you're letting the guy you're not married to release his seed into your body? Yikes. Busola said the tell-all really showed people's ignorance about menopause. It seems Stacey has no support from Florian during this time in her life. Has she ever had support from him? And she also, this is another reason why I feel like Stacey needs to let him go, because since he cheated on her, she hasn't let that go. She has not moved on from him cheating on her, and she does not trust him. So it's like, girl, why keep yourself in this misery? Why do it? Spency said, that's how you know she knew Gino would be an awful dad. Josie said, I just feel bad for Jasmine's older kids seeing her carry on with this new baby. But I think it's all a part of her master plan. Oh, yeah, that's how they met on the sugar baby site. Yep, I forgot about that. I think we talked about it. I think we talked about the meeting on a sugar baby site. And I think I said that before. I think I said that these two probably were just like not serious and then got serious for the show. It was weird. I don't think she's a bad mom. She's smart. Because she got that one baby. She gonna get the rest of them over here. And Gino, ciao. Did y'all hear about that American citizen that got deported and they try to get him back? The streets ain't safe for nobody. Stay inside. Denise said there was nothing about Jasmine's interaction with her son that made me think she was a bad mom. And suddenly people forget that Gino was the one that didn't do the paperwork right. Ciao. Gagged us. I said, wow. 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 Did a whole photo shoot with the boyfriend. That woman, I'm telling you, 90 Day Fiance will never let that woman go. She is a consistent storyline. Just absolutely. Sometimes I feel like she just does it for the plot. That woman is enjoying life. She is enjoying life. Marianne said, and what about her child? You know, the older one, does she care about that, or is she going to send that one to live with her mom too? I don't know how I would feel about that as I was her other child. I think now she's going to get the mother kids here. Gino was a roadblock for her. She moved him out the way and she got the life she wanted. Spency said, and Gino leaked her news to his ex. Yeah, Jasmine. And then Jasmine got fired from her job. Nasty work. Gino's not the good character here. So I don't know why the men were like, oh, poor Gino, poor Gino. He's a terrible person. Denise said, I don't think her other kids aren't secure. They were both living well with her mom last time we saw them. Developing another relationship here is probably her trying to solidify herself in order to get her kids here. And her mom, I think she's trying to get her whole family here. Boosie said, leaving your kids to go and work in another city or country is not bad parenting. She is giving her kids a better life. She lost her teaching job due to Gino. Yep. Josie said, Gino was crazy to think anyone, but especially Jasmine, would agree to a sexist marriage, even Florian. Florian was like, just go have sex with your wife, Gino. He's begging you. Yeah, he is. Never. He's mum in the presence of men. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, does anybody care that this woman is baking a human in her body? Like, I get y'all might be upset, but we don't go at pregnant women the same. Like, there's just like, there was no care. Boosie said Rob wasn't even mad about the whole shoe throwing. He was mad about her coochie. It was so weird. Rob's side gig is turning him into a sassy person. He needs to get out of women's business and stay out of it. DGF said, I always thought that Rob and Sophie were cruising for OnlyFans subscribers via 90 days. Listen, there is a 90 Day Fiance to porn pipeline that is strong. strong over there at TLC. So I wouldn't be surprised. It would make sense the way, some people talk about how good the sex was. Like, it would all make sense if that's what was going on. He jumped up. He said, not only did he jump up, he said, let's go. Weird. Homebody Brit says Sophie had videos of him verbally abusing her and alleged pictures of what he's done to her physically. But then I heard she said that wasn't true or something. A mess. K Pratt, thank you for the super chat. K Pratt said, I think Jasmine initially loved Gino, but lost the feeling after he sent that topless pic of her to his ex without permission. She lost her teaching job and was embarrassed because the ex posted the photo. Listen, Jasmine's calculated and mother always had a plan. I think everybody is mad at her because when plan A didn't work out, she went to plan B and still got all the results from plan A. I know that's right. Sis. Boosie said that was a good quality shoe. I need to get me a pair. Yes, because they brought the shoe back to her and it was intact. I was like, that's a shoe he threw on the road. Mona Me said, I hate Rob for how he acted towards pregnant Jasmine. He reached misogyny. Absolutely. That was weird too. I'm like, why is the cast protecting these people? Like, where's security? Boosie says Sophie's mom is abusive too. Something's going on. Something's going on with her. K Press said they need to study the people who go on this show because the misogyny seems stronger than people on other shows. Well, a lot of these, the majority of the cast is passport bros and passport hoes. Like Americans going over to foreign countries, especially brown ones, where they think that people are living in squalor and living destitute, and they go over there and act like there's some god and mistreat these people because they actually just want a slave. They want somebody that they can have sex with who does not have an opinion, who does whatever they want to do sexually, and they also want somebody who will be free labor. A lot of these Americans are going out of the country to find slaves. Point blank period. But I did part 1 and part 2. Part 3 is this Sunday, and I think that's the last one. Yeah, she was absolutely wrong for getting up because I'm like, Jasmine, think of the baby. I was just gagged that Rob jumped up and said, let's go. Where are y'all going? Because you're going to prison. Yeah, Angela was a mess at that reunion. She was absolutely high. It did show his true nature. And it gave me a peek until how bad it really was for Sophie. Asia Dior TV, thank you for being here. Asia Dior said, OMG, I just got a promotion. I'm a research manager now. Hey, sorry, I needed to share. Congrats. Especially in this day and age, you better work. Literally. Josie said, Rob is the typical club. Cameron said, the fact that I had to witness 2 grown tail men was literally attempting to physically assault a pregnant woman on national TV. Everybody needs to be fired. Yeah, it should have never gotten that dark. Boosie said, Rob and Sophie being that scene. I was like, what are we talking about? Because the way he was like telling it, I'm like, what are you saying, bro? He was like, and then out of nowhere, like, I got 10,000 homosexuals following me, but I'm not gay. Huh? I missed a lot of context. Here. The internet said, I wouldn't be shocked, especially with how he acted to. Internet said, do they ever mention how Brandon's attachment to his mother affects their relationship at all? They don't. They never talk about it. but they always bring in his parents to critique Julia. You know what? Um, DGF said Julia seemed to be a good natured, fun loving person. They want her to make herself small, and she never submits to it. And I love it. Josie said Julia has been in the US for multiple years. I know it's hard, but she needs to create a support system outside of Brandon and his family. Absolutely. I'm not sure, but I know that the parents are still very much involved in their relationship. Josie said, I know Julia wants her parents to live with her, but isn't Brandon and his parents providing for her? I think it's a lot to expect them to also to support her parents without getting their support. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's too much. It was wow. It's like you could remove their heads from their bodies. It was so scary. I don't want to diagnose either, but something's going on. Something's going on. Something is going on. It's just really scary. Yes, they are. And they seem to be really, they not only are they together, they're married. They seem to be in a really good place. Um, a definite pick me. Definite. All the problems on the show. Throwing that drink at Sophie. You're in your 40s. Why are you throwing a drink on somebody in their 20s? A 20-year-old got you that pressed? Crazy. Crazy. Every time. Every time. Yep. Yep. When they were going at it on the tell-all, not a tell-all on the season, Darcy and Stacey got into it, and Stacey was just like, "Oh, so what? You want Florian? You want my man?" She's like, first of all, I don't want no Florian, Darcy, Stacey. I'm married. I have my own husband. Her and Georgie are together. Oh, Just Jonda, great. That's why I got it. Just Jonda said the only Olipop we do is ginger ale because it's the probiotic and has actual ginger. It is excellent for an upset stomach. When the baby girl had a stomach virus, it was everything. Okay, that's why I got it. All right. It was terrible, but apparently it works. DGF said being raised in a house full of women explains Florian supportive moments with some of the women. I'm just like, how, if you grew up in a house full of women, were you talking to them like this? I hope they talk back just the same way. Just the same way. Oh, he doesn't have a job? Ciao. You kept and cheating? Yikes. Yikes. Josie said Georgie became jobless once he moved in with Darcy. He's no, oh my God. So they both are taking care of men. And they got all them kids. Spencer said, OMG, when Ari wanted to get on Benny's, he was over her. So Steph is here. So Steph said Benny don't give a F. When they first came on and Ari left Ethiopia to visit her family and she found out that he had women in the house that he blocked her. It's not funny, but I just cannot believe that Benny is like this. He just was so nonchalant. He didn't fight for her at all. He didn't fight for her at all. Especially also said, and those therapists were so fake. The women who ran the camp. Oh, remember when she tried to get them all together because they were all fighting? She was like, "Halt! Now we didn't come here for this," and they were all like, "Ah." They did not care, ma'am. They did not fake. Oh wait, it's that bad? The lady who ran the camp. Oh my. First of all, I will say when she encouraged Jasmine to get into a throuple. I was like, where did you study? Because, huh? She was like, me and my husband have done it. I've been married for 10. We've done it for 9. It's amazing. I was like, oh, okay. Should you be telling Jasmine to do this? But that's all Jasmine needed because she was going to do it anyway. She was going to do it anyway. Social stuff said, what happened to the kid Benny already had in the States that he couldn't see? We've never seen that kid. And I think it's because the mom does not want to be involved in the show. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah, they keep on saying he was a model. I'm like, what was he modeling? Gloves? Let's stop lying. DGF said Ari and Benny love bombed each other. Ari thinks being controlling and condescending will make it come back. Oof. 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 DGS said Florian could definitely have been a part of the Ukrainian mob, a law and order, organized crime. He acts like it. He acts like it. Me too. Especially when it's with women, he's very activated. I will say he keeps it buck with men too, but I'm like, whenever a man has to be like pulled away or calmed down by other people because he gets into it with a woman, I'm always on high alert because I'm like, what would happen if there weren't people there telling you to calm down and stop? Very concerned. Very, very concerned. Yeah. They're still trying to get him back. And everybody's like, America is trying to act like he's missing because America don't want to pay that man that money. That man is going to get paid. He is going to become a billionaire with that lawsuit when he sues the United States of America. Oh, he's going to get paid. Like we're deporting American citizens now? Oh my God. Yikes. Josie said, I respect Jasmine's hustle, but the way she moves is crazy. She has no shame. I couldn't do it. Oh, she don't got a care in the world. She don't got a care in the world. Some people said they tried to deport some Puerto Ricans because they heard them speaking. Yeah, Puerto Rican. This administration is foolish. DGF said, based on Jasmine's grasp of English and how intelligently she speaks on issues, she is very smart. But she lucked and let on Gino's toes. Listen, now she don't need them toes no more. She don't need them toes anymore. F. Summer said, Julia's folks do not speak English. How is this going to work? All of them living together. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Julia, you take these 90-day fiance checks and get your parents a place to stay. No, he actually cheated on her. And she said he admitted it. But after that, she's just never been able to let it go. So every time they get into something, she says, yeah, so you could just go out there and call other women and cheat on me. She hasn't gotten over that. And I'm just like, listen, if you're going to choose to stay with this man, then you're going to have to choose to move on. Hey, Lisa, thank you for being here. Even if you're just stopping by. Oh, he's getting a nice coin. A nice coin. I'm trying to see how much that coin is because, listen, I might just have to be in the right place at the right time to sue America. But don't support me. Don't deport me nowhere with a men are fine because I might not. You know what? Anyway, L Boogie said, "Girl, the scary thing is they're going to drag their feet and bringing that man back because he will tell everything. They can't have that. Folks going to be brought up on all kinds of charges. Yeah. Shout out to his family though. His family is not letting up. His family is not. They're like, bring him home. He's American. He's American. Bring him home. That lawsuit is going to be crazy. If I was a lawyer, I would be sniffing around that entire family. Do you guys have representation? Just asking. My God, today, that check is going to be phenomenal. Anyway, guys, child, let me get out of here. I got another live starting in 5 minutes. I'm going to be talking about Drag Race, the Never Ever Mets, Love After Lockup, and it's one more show. 90 Day Fiance. Thank you all so much for joining me. I had such a great time. If you want to talk about some more reality TV shows, join me in the next live. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye. Oh, that man is going to get